This is the new Volkswagen ID.4 electric SUV. It's a bigger brother to the ID.3 hatchback and is effectively VW's answer to the Tesla Model Y. And here's everything you need to know about it. The new Volkswagen ID.4 is about the same size as a Tiguan, but it looks nothing like your average family SUV. It's all curvy and rounded instead of square and angular. The headlights look similar to the ones on the new ID.3. They're pinched in the middle and have an extra light bar that goes through the Volkswagen badge. Also, there's no big fake grille at the front like you get in some electric cars. Yes, BMW iX3, I'm looking at you, mate. I'm looking at you. Around the side, you get some big chrome strips above the windows, and there's plenty of chunky plastic on the doors. It sort of reminds me of a Renault Kadjar, actually. You get 20-inch alloy wheels as standard, but you can swap them out for some massive 21-inch rims if you want. At the back, the car gets a full-width brake light, and there's no fake exhaust either. Well, obviously, it's electric, of course. All in all, I think the ID.4 looks pretty smart, but do you reckon it looks better than the new Skoda Enyaq or a Tesla Model Y? Let me know which is your favourite in the comments. The new ID.4's cabin looks way more modern than any other Volkswagen SUV. It's just so minimalist that you don't even get a gear lever. Instead, you have a twist knob up by the driver's display, a bit like on the BMW i3. There are some brushed metal bits on the dash and a bit of glossy plastic on the centre console. If you're feeling brave, you can get a two-tone brown and white interior. Now, don't mind the brown bits on the seats and the doors, they actually look okay. But the white steering wheel is just a touch weird. And think how filthy that's going to be after a few years. Rub your hands and all that. Anyhow, the seats should be pretty comfy. High specification cars get pneumatic lumbar adjustment as standard. And they've been approved by the German campaign for healthier backs. How fun do you reckon that organisation's Christmas parties are, eh? Banging. The new ID.4 comes with a 77 kWh battery pack. It's actually the same one you get in the range-topping ID.3. You don't get as much range as the ID.3 though, that's because the ID.4 is bigger and heavier. It can still manage a claimed 320 miles between charges though, which is pretty respectable. But the ID.3 can do an extra 20 miles. The fastest way to charge the ID.4 is using a 125 kilowatt public charging point. This can boost your range to about 200 miles in just half an hour. You can also charge it using slower public chargers or with an 11 kilowatt wall box at home, although you have to leave it plugged in overnight to fully charge it that way. Now, if you click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can see me range test a bunch of electric cars by driving them until their batteries completely died. The new ID.4 is rear-wheel drive, just like the smaller ID.3, and like the original Beetle. Although the ID.4 gets a compact and powerful electric motor instead of a noisy, weak air-cooled petrol engine. Its motor is hidden under the back seats, so it doesn't take up any boot space. But don't go thinking this means you'll be able to do big smoky donuts in your ID.4. It's been designed to maximise grip, not turn your tyres into smoke. So there'll be no chance of you drifting it out of the office car park at 5 PM on a Friday then. The ID.4 gets Volkswagen's latest infotainment system. So every car comes with two screens as standard. There's a small one in front of the steering wheel instead of regular dials, and there's a bigger touchscreen on the dashboard. This measures either 10 or 12 inches, depending on which model you pick. These screens work just like the ones in the new Golf, so they control pretty much all of the car's features. That means there are barely any physical buttons inside the ID.4's cabin. However, you don't have to rely on the touchscreens, because the ID.4 also gets VW's latest voice command system. You can tell it to change the temperature in the car or play a different song on the stereo, and you can use it to enter an address in the satellite navigation system. However, I tried Volkswagen's voice control system in the new Golf, but it wasn't the best. So hopefully they've made a few upgrades for the ID.4. Now if you click on the pop-out banner in the top right hand corner of the screen, you can watch my full in-depth video review of the new Golf if you'd rather have petrol or diesel power instead of electric. The new ID.4 has been designed to be super aerodynamic. This is why it looks all smooth and curvy. This slippery shape means it uses less energy to push through the air, so you can drive it further without having to stop to recharge it. The ID.4's alloy wheels have been designed to cut through the air as cleanly as possible too. And even the door handles are flush with the doors to help reduce drag. Also, the rear spoiler works with the brake lights to help reduce drag at the back of the car. Now, when you improve a car's aerodynamics, you also reduce the amount of wind noise it makes. So the ID.4 should be pretty quiet when you're cruising along the motorway. You'll only be able to get the ID.4 with one electric motor. It produces 204 horsepower and 310 Nm of torque. it can actually do 0 to 60 in 8.5 seconds, which doesn't sound especially quick. In fact, it's actually more than a second slower than a 190 horsepower diesel Tiguan. But the ID.4 can deliver all of its torque from 0 RPM, so it should actually feel properly nippy in town when you're just zipping away from the lights. If you're a speed freak, I should warn you though that Volkswagen has slapped a 100-mile-an-hour top speed limiter on the ID.4. Now that doesn't really matter in the UK, but it might well annoy a few Germans who use the Autobahn to get to work. Now I imagine the reason for this restriction is to help improve the car's efficiency. However, you could say it's a marketing ploy. You see, Volkswagen will make a faster version of the ID.4 with 2 motors and 4-wheel drive, which will obviously be more expensive. And if you're interested in that, you'll actually have to wait to 2021 for it to arrive. Chances are it will use the same motors as the 4-wheel drive Skoda Enyaq VRS, so it should have around 300 horsepower and do 0 to 60 in around 6.2 seconds. Now if you click on the pop-out banner in the top right hand corner of the screen, you can watch me race a Tesla Model S against a Porsche Taycan Turbo S. The Volkswagen ID.4 is a smidge longer than a Tiguan, so it should be more practical, right? Well, not in terms of boot space. It can carry 543 litres, which is pretty standard for an SUV, but a Tiguan can carry 72 litres more. It's not all bad news though. You see, the ID.4 has a bigger wheelbase than the Tiguan. This means there's more space between the front and the back wheels, so there's more room inside for people. Also, the batteries are mounted underneath the floor so they don't get in the way, and this means the floor's completely flat, so passengers should have lots of foot space to stretch out. The ID.4 is quite a tall car too, so headroom shouldn't be an issue for lanky people. The new ID.4 comes with Volkswagen's latest IQ Drive Assist system. This basically bundles up a whole load of safety kit in one pack that'll help prevent accidents. There's automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assistance, adaptive cruise control, you know, all the usual stuff. But the ID.4 also gets a few new features. There's a special emergency assist that'll automatically stop the car if you've fallen asleep behind the wheel. Also, Volkswagen has upgraded the parking sensors. Now they'll detect if you're about to bump into a car and automatically hit the brakes for you. The ID.4 also comes with a special centre airbag that pops out between the front seats. This helps prevent you banging heads with your passengers in a crash. Now if you click on the pop-out banner in the top right hand corner of the screen, you can watch my video of the 10 least safe new cars you can buy. The new Volkswagen ID.4 will go on sale in 2020, but you'll only be able to buy a high specification First Edition or First Edition Max model for a while. These come with lots of optional extras as standard, like fancy LED headlights and extra safety kit. They'll also be quite expensive as a result. A First Edition model will set you back around £45,000, while the Max version will cost 55 grand. Thankfully, Volkswagen will release some cheaper models with a bit less kit at a later date, but you won't be able to get your hands on one of these until 2021. Now if you click on the pop-out banner in the top right hand corner of the screen, you can sign up for the CarWow newsletter. It's packed full of the latest car news, reviews and videos, and it's completely free.
I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. Also, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Be kind though, because I do read the comments and you don't want to upset me. Now, if you'd like to watch some more videos, just click on the windows there. And if you click on the box there, you can download the free CarWow app where you can check out all our different car reviews and also see how much money you can save on a new car through our trusted dealers. Trust me, we can save you a ton of cash. The app also includes a special car valuation tool where you can actually use your phone's camera to scan the number plate of a car and it'll tell you how much it's worth. Go download it, it's free.